timing is always going to be an issue, especially in a soft market where not many shippers are onboarding new carriers. But how do you expedite that waiting game? The average shipper gets 20 to 30 sales calls or solicitations a day. If you're in sales, specifically to logistics, if you're one of those 30, how are you going to separate yourself from the other 30?
I think about it this way, man. Like if you have a canned script, or if you're saying the same thing over and over again and you're not bringing any value, I think it's going to be a hard time. It's going to be a hard time developing that relationship and standing out.
Yeah, when you're asking the very vanilla questions that they've heard over and over,
Yeah, right.
You're going to get the auto response.
Yeah.
You call Gatekeepers. Gatekeeper is the person that answers the phone and says, no, they're not available, or they're in a meeting, and get you off the phone as fast as possible.
Yep.
When you call them, you know damn well that they are reading off a script.
Correct.
If they say transportation or ask for so-and-so,
right,
this is what you say. How are you getting around that? How are you going to get the opportunity to set up a conversation and actually learn more about their operations or their sales process or onboarding process, whatever it may be? What can you do to get in direct contact with them? What are some ways?
Yeah, so I think a couple things, right? I think we need to ask, when you said, okay, we call the gatekeeper says, no, John's not available. Trying to find out more information about John or about the company, right? And we might know a little bit. We might be on their website prior to that. I think that's something that people don't dig in on, right? What does it hurt to ask for his direct extension or his cell phone number, right? Why not ask? That we already don't have it. She might say like, oh, well, we don't really give that out. No problem. What about an email address? Can I just want to shoot him a quick email to, let him know that I'm here, right? And you just mentioned it, but direct contact is what we're looking for. How many times can we get directly to the decision maker without having to, call Judy, the gatekeeper?
Yeah, and what other ways are there to get a hold of someone?
Right.
We talked to our sales team, and some of the newer employees were like, we're writing handwritten letters to your prospect, and they're like, what? Like cursive? I don't know how to write.
I'd say, some of the things like we have the stamps over by our desk, and some of the times we see some of those letters. Man, I don't know if some of the kids, I call them kids, some of the folks know how to like address an envelope, right? Where like again, I love them, but we got a little bit of work to do on our side. But,
yeah, I don't teach that anymore. But seriously, like email, LinkedIn, social media, handwritten cards.
Yep.
Whatever it may be, there's other avenues to get a hold and in contact with some of these people. If you're just going through the motions and calling at 12 p.m. every Tuesday, good luck.
Yeah.
It's probably not going to work out. So you get a hold of them. You pique their interest. You're prepared. You've done your homework. You know a few facts about them. Or let's just say you're working with one of their vendors or one of their clients. So there's mutual interest there.
Right.
How do you pique their interest enough to actually get an opportunity?
If you're listening to this and you're in the sales industry and you're looking to figure out ways to stand out, it's value. How do I bring value? How do I prepare? What am I going to say? I mean, maybe it's practicing in the mirror. One thing that I love, and I still do this today, anytime that I'm going to present or speak, like I do it on my car ride, right? I want to rehearse. Oh, that didn't sound good enough. Okay, I want to pause here. Right? Or how do I say this, right? So if you're a salesperson, use the car ride to your advantage. If you're going into an office and it's a 15 to 20 minute commute, use that time. One thing I want you to hit on, like when you talk about, setting yourself apart, right? And you're in that conversation, do you push for the close at that moment, or what do you do?
No, never. And I think, listening.
Do some people do that? They push for the close right away?
I would say majority, yes.
Sure.
Yeah, it's all, timing is important.
Yeah.
But also, being empathetic to what they're saying. If they're saying now is not the time, you need to let them know that you hear and understand that now is not the time.
Gotta listen, man.
Yes. So when you're in a conversation, communicating back to them as, it sounds like my timing is slightly off, but when would you be more inclined to have this type of conversation?
Yeah,
or
love it.
When would be a better time to follow up on this, and this? So, acknowledging that you hear them, but also still getting those smaller commitments to progress them through the sales cycle is so important. And, timing is always going to be an issue. Especially in a soft market where not many shippers are onboarding new carriers. But how do you expedite that waiting game? And I think there's a number of things you can do, whether it's marketing and standing out. The outside the box thinking.
Yeah.
When it comes to marketing, it's imperative.
So when you talk about like outside the box thinking, man, like what are some things that you can do as a broker, as a salesperson that's different than the 20 other people that have maybe called them or emailed them on a daily basis?
I'll give you a couple of examples. I'm huge on virtual calls. Virtual calls, when you're face to face, some of these shippers that we're working with are all over the country. So we're not going to fly out and see every single person, but we set up a lot of virtual calls. And paying attention to their shirt, their hat, their background.
Yeah.
If they're working from home, the kid that runs up. I'll give you a couple examples. Had a kid run up, ask his mom asked her if she could play with Legos. Well, she was on a call, so she's like, "No, I will in a little bit." But sending a gift, a thank you card for the time, and a gift for her kid with a mini Lego set.
Right. And which Lego set costs what? $20?
They're very expensive.
Well, now I'm talking.
I got the smallest one.
You got the mini one. No, I'm not talking about the big dog, like
Yeah.
police station, fire station. Yeah, I'm just the mini one.
But it's little things like that. Another client down in Austin, Texas, early on, we were having conversations.
Yeah.
His pit bull walks through. He pets it, says his name, wrote a handwritten card, bottle of bourbon.
Yeah.
He's familiar with Kentucky bourbon, which is where we're from.
Yep.
Writing on the background, this contact had a lot on his plate. Here's some Kentucky medicine for those days that get tough. We always have your back, Team Veritas.
Yeah.
Include a massive bone in there for his pit bull.
Yeah.
And thank him for his time.
Yeah.
Because those are the things that you notice as a sales rep that not many people notice because they're so focused on business.
Closing the sale.
Yes.
Dude, I love that. And the thing is, like, the reason I mentioned the price on the Lego set is, what is that? $20
Yep.
with a handwritten card. So I don't even know what stamps are these days, like 70 cents or something. So you're talking about like $25 with shipping and everything included to try to, land a customer and set yourself outside the box, even with like the thing of Woodford, right? So what's that? $25 plus a handwritten card plus a dog bone. That's another 10. I don't even know what dog's bones cost, but, $40 to land a massive account that could produce, millions of dollars in
It's one of our top accounts.
Yeah. Millions of dollars in potential gross sales, right? So like, I think we look at it that way, like, do those small things. It doesn't have to cost a fortune, right? We don't need to fly a private jet down to these people and take them to courtside seats in an NBA. You don't need to do that, right? But showing them that you care.
And you're a real person.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And, getting to connect with them, I think are, two areas that people in any sales profession out there don't do enough.
Yep. So next time you catch yourself going through the motions or sending that generic template, delete it. Like, think outside the box, catch yourself, and be a real person. I guarantee you that you'll have a lot more success.
Love it, man. That's a differentiator right there. I do want to, call out a couple different resources that we love, here at Veritas. There's a couple sales leaders, a couple sales training companies. Jeb Blunt, his company is called Sales Gravy. He has a book out called Fanatical Prospecting. And I swear, every time I read that book, I get so energized in the sales process because he breaks it down where, into bite-sized pieces where everybody can understand, more of that sales process. There is Anthony Iannarino as well as Andy Elliott. Those are all people on LinkedIn, Instagram to go out there and learn things from on the sales process to stand out and be a little bit different.
If you're also trying to identify potential prospects or opportunities that you want to start relationships with, you need to do a little bit of work prior to going down there so you're not just blindsiding people, especially at a conference where there's a lot of competition and it's a bit of a feeding frenzy down there.